Alright, welcome back to the Reading Corner, and welcome to Season 7 of Marvel Rivals, and we are going to be introducing the new hero, the first of the two for this season, the White Fox, which I've never actually heard about. But from what I've gathered, she's actually from the comics, so they didn't Marvel Rivals didn't just create her out of thin air, so she's meant to be some sort of Korean super spy. Anyway, we're gonna jump straight into our lore segment, because that's what you're all here to hear about. This is Shards of Hope. Amy Han checked her phone one more time. He was late. And as director of Korea's top-secret superhuman intelligence agency, Tiger Division, every second mattered. She took a deep breath and reminded herself that, of all the heroes she'd crossed paths with, in this timeline or any other, Lin Lie was one of the few who were worth the wait. "Amy!" Lin Lie called as he rushed into the busy cafe in Lower Manhattan. "Sorry, I was running behind. You know how it is, saving the world and all." "Oh, I know," Amy replied. "That's why we're here today." "And here I thought I was just grabbing a cup of tea with an old friend," Lin Lie said, playfully raising his eyebrow. "That too," Amy said, her stoic expression softening as Lin Lie grabbed a seat across the table from her. "Good," Lin Lie said, "because we've got a lot of catching up to do. You're not going to believe everything that's been happening since the last time I saw you." "Let me guess," Amy responded. "You found yourself wrapped up in Dr. Doom's plot to steal the power of the Iron Fist from you, which led to an all-out battle in the unified capital cities of heaven. And then Xiao Lao found a loophole to Doom's challenge and announced a grand tournament that you and your fellow heroes are still preparing for. That sound right?" "How did you know all that?" Lin Lie asked, astonished. "Does Tiger Division have spies in Kunlun?" "No," Amy replied with a laugh. "So he called me after the battle and filled me in." "Glad you and Yuna are still tight," Lin Lie said, his demeanour suddenly shifting. "I wish we were." "I know it's been a while since our days with the Agents of Atlas," Amy said, "but nothing has changed between us. You're still the same brave hero who sacrificed his family's sacred sword, and almost his own life, to save me from a demonic Kumeno." "That's the thing," Lin Lie replied. "I'm not. For all intents and purposes, the old me, the Swordmaster, died that day. And when I washed up on the shores of Kunlun, I became someone else. And I don't just mean the Iron Fist. I became the sworn protector of an entire culture, an immortal weapon in an unending war that I never asked to fight. And, well, it's been a lot." "I can imagine," Amy said. "And I can relate. When I first started out as the White Fox, all I wanted to do was some good. To honour my legacy and my country in a way that would make me proud. And for a while, it seemed so easy. But then I was given command Tiger Division. As the responsibility grew and I got buried in the logistics of one global crisis after another, I felt like I was starting to lose sight of who I was." "I still see you," Lin Lie said gently. "Thanks," Amy replied, turning her gaze to the window. But as much as I wish I could still spend my nights sleeping across the rooftops of Seoul, tracking down arms dealers and thugs, there are more important matters that require my attention. And yours." "Ah," Lin Lie chuckled. "Here comes the recruitment pitch." "Not quite yet," Amy said. "First, there's something you need to understand. Tiger Division has been making efforts to regulate cross-timeline travel." "Wait, why?" Lin Lie said, immediately realizing the implication of what his friends were saying. "The intel we collected through our previous collaborations with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Mayor Fisk indicate that the recent surge in superheroes traveling between dimensions is accelerating the time stream entanglement," Amy said. "If the data is right, it could even trigger a massive incursion in the future if the activities continues at this level." "We haven't had a choice," Lin Lie said, taking her back a bit. "Or does your data not take into account the part about how we've been fighting across time and space to save the fabric of reality itself from unraveling?" "I know how high the stakes are," Amy continued, "but what good is it to fight for a universe if you're actively contributing to its destruction by doing so?" "So what do you suggest?" Lin Lie asked. "You fight for one universe," Amy replied, unexpected coldness in her voice. "Whoa," Lin Lie said. The shock in his face was undeniable. "Are you saying we leave those other timelines to die?" "Not at all," Amy said. "Quite the opposite, actually. I'm suggesting we let the heroes from each timeline fight for the future of their own worlds. We'd still provide them any tactical support we can, but tactical support isn't enough, Lin Lie interrupted. If all of us hadn't shown up to face some of these threats, billions would have died. It might be hard to see from a control room, but if you'd been there when we fought Ultron, or Null, or the Collector, you know better. I know everything I need to, Amy said. And frankly, I'm shocked that a group of heroes including Reed Richards, Tony Stark and T'Challa haven't already rung the alarm bells themselves. Maybe they're too busy saving lines instead of reading spreadsheets, Lin Lie said, his tone growing bitter. You remember how to do that? Amy paused and took a breath, not wanting to let her old friend's emotions overshadow the reason for this meeting. I remember. That's why I came here to face this latest crisis in person, not from behind a desk. Okay, Lin Lie said, trying to calm himself. You're here to help. I get that. And so am I. So, what can I do? Tiger Division is still working up a strategy to deal with a surge of criminal activity we detected here in Manhattan, Amy said. But for now, you and I can focus on the bigger picture. Not sure it gets much bigger than a time stream event in New York City, Lin Lie said, a bit of humour returning to his voice. Actually, it gets a lot bigger, Amy said. I'm planning to establish an independent Pan-Pacific intelligence agency, one that operates free from the influence of governments and geopolitics. It would allow us to respond to global crises more freely and proactively. In other words, we could save the world without all the red tape. Sounds like your dream come true, Lin Lie said. What's it got to do with me? I want you to be my first agent, Amy said. Wish I could, Lin Lie replied, but I've already got a boss. A big cranky dragon who would not handle it well if someone tried to poach me. I'm not looking to be your boss, Lin, Amy said. Think of it more as a partnership, like when we were agents of Atlas. You and me working in tandem to do what's best for our world. That's the catch though, isn't it? Lin Lie asked. You said our world. You want me here full time. This is your timeline, Amy said. It's where you belong. Not according to the people in Kunlun, Lin Lie replied. I made a promise to protect them, no matter what. And that means my time there is just as important as my time here. And if we find a way to stop heroes from travelling between dimensions and timelines as a means of protecting the increasingly fragile borders between them, Amy asked, where do you end up then? Wherever I'm needed, Lin Lie said confidently. No matter the cost. Amy and Lin Lie looked down into their cups of tea, which had grown cold despite their heated conversation. They had come to this meeting with hopes of rekindling a friendship that they once held dear. Neither had expected to run out of words to say to each other so soon. Amy reached into a pouch on her belt and pulled out something wrapped in cloth, setting it on the table. She pushed the cloth over towards Lin Lie. Without a word, he slowly unwrapped the object, revealing a shard of metal that gave off a strange green glow. It can't be, Lin Lie gasped, realizing what he was looking at. It is, Amy replied. A fragment of the Sword of Fusi. I thought it was lost forever, Lin Lie said. I absorbed all of the other shards, but I figured its power would always be incomplete. Where did you... After you saved my life, Amy explained, when you fell from that cliff and vanished from this world. This was all that was left. I held on to it, hoping I'd be able to give it back to you someday. It helped me through a few tough battles along the way, but it belongs in your hands. Literally, Lin Lie said, watching in awe as the shard was suddenly sucked into his forearm, as if being magnetically pulled by the other sword fragments embedded within his body. How can I ever thank you? You can pay for the tea, Amy said. I may technically be in charge of Tiger Division, but our accounting department really runs the show. They triple check every receipt. And I'd rather keep this meeting off the books. Tea's on me, Lee said, barely aware of how he was disappointing his old friend. I just wish I could do more. You will, Amy said, in your own way. You've never been one to play by the rules, Lee. I shouldn't have expected you to play by mine, even if I know they're right. We'll see about that, then Lee said, giving Amy a hug as she stood to exit the cafe. You're right, we will, Amy said, her attention drifting towards the Alchemax building looming over Lower Manhattan. Sooner than you think. So that was the lore segment for the White Fox, pretty much explaining what she's sort of doing here. I think her story is a bit tangential compared to the others. I know if you look in the team up segments for her and Luna Snow, there's a segment which explains that she's been forced to work behind the scenes during the Mayor Fist debacle that's about to happen. But yeah, as a strategist, she is fun. She takes a bit of practice switching between her healing state and her aggressive state, but I'm getting to grips with her. I mean, right now I'm more sort of grinding. I'm trying to grind at the achievements to get KO people with the help of other agents of Atlas and then take out a Psylocke and the O's inside, but that's just a matter of time. But yeah, one thing this little segment did do for me is confirm that the tournament from Kunlun hasn't happened yet, because that was the biggest gripe I had. We were doing all the build up towards the tournament that we never sort of happened, and I sat there and went, "What is this? Is this something that's going to happen off screen?" But no, apparently the tournament hasn't occurred yet. So at some stage in the future, we'll be returning to Kunlun, and we will have a tour. I reckon it will be like a 4v4 or 8v8 game modes that they'll have for a limited time at some point. That's my prediction anyway. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing that particular tournament come to play in the future. But yeah, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing the gallery cards as soon as I've got it. There's also a Captain America lore segment I need to cover at some point, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one.